product design at Blackline. Through her leadership, she has navigated the opening of a new office overseas. Today, Claire will discuss establishing a scalable team structure at an enterprise company. Please join me in welcoming Claire on the stage.
Hello, thank you for joining the session at the W Summit 2023. My name is Claire. I'm Senior Director of Product Design and Research at Blackline. I'm currently leading and managing Blackline's design and research team. Before joining Blackline, I worked in Fortune 500 consumer-facing and enterprise products, large-scale public sector, governments, arts, and education. I also worked as a full-time design faculty for 7 years. I joined Blackline in 2019 to ask from the business, and my motivation was to build, nurture, and lead a strong design organization within the company. There were 5 designers in my inherited team, and they were managed by a project manager working like a guild per project. The big question and goal for me was how to best structure a design and research org to be motivated, high-performing, and successful for the business. In order to set the expectation and establish the structure, I did some homework. I went over business needs, like what's the company's near-term and long-term goal, and what is expected of design function. Also, current model review, what does it look like? What are some good and bad? Is it effective? And if there is a growth opportunity for the team members. And what does a base structure look like? And what are the milestones? And how does this support the business goal and team's professional growth? Were part of the vision that I had to define. There were also some reviews and learning about organizational context that how do they work together within the company, or how do people perceive design function? And within the team, I have to run a skill evaluation to see the current capabilities and skills and identify missing skill gaps, and also prioritize which skills are more immediately needed. And if we have to develop a skill, then what's the plan? If we have to hire new, what's the plan look like? And most importantly, I worked on alignment plan, that who are the stakeholders and partners in this, and what should be my tone of voice when I talk about this subject, and what types of approval and supports are needed based on the organizational structure. So after finishing my homework, I started looking at some organizational model that, as you may know, that there are 3 different design org models. First one is a centralized, where there is a design team and design leader, and designers are acting like an agency so that they work on project as needed as a consultant. And this is good because you can have a lot of different skills within the team, like UX writing, content, design ops, design system, and user experience. But it's hard to get deeper knowledge about the product and business because you're working on the project level. Second is the opposite, the direct opposite, that designer is embedded in different product teams in decentralized or embedded team. This has a strong teamwork, and designers do get a lot of in-depth expertise knowledge about the product and business, but it's also very hard to evangelize the research and design process as a discipline because you're embedded in team. The third one is putting the good of both worlds into one. So it's a hybrid model. So there is a design manager centralized, and designers are also embedded within the product team. So you have the both good here, but the challenge is that sometimes you could have a conflict of interest or different directions and visions between product lead and your design manager. So constant RACI and alignment and clear goals need to be communicated at all times. So based on this initial assessment and some pre-work that I decided that hybrid is going to be the best model for Blackline for the next few years, because research and design should be a critical function and business partner, so that you do need to have a presence of a design office there because you're leading the innovation and modernization. Because design maturity at Blackline is really low, it was also very important to promote the consistency of user experience, internal evangelism, and design principle education was important. And this provides a growth opportunity for team members that if they want to learn a different discipline within the team, they could do so. So here's a basic structure that I have built. There is a design leader, and there are different expertise area. The first group is design group, product design, so that you see multiple cards there, that one card has a design lead, and if it's a big team, that there are several designers, and you multiply this structure for individual product teams so we can embed these people. Research, content, design ops, and design systems, they sit on top of design leads, the individual product teams, because this applies to a much larger organization. So they are not embedded in product teams. They are functioning just above the product feature teams. And based on that base structure, that this is the current structure look like, we don't have all expertise area like ops and content yet, but there are four major portfolios within the company, and there are about close to 50 product teams. And so we have a design lead for portfolio, principal level designer, and other designers are embedded on a very particular product. And this required a lot of brutal prioritization because we can't support all the products that we're working on. And as you see, the user research and design system sits above this. They're not embedded to the team. So looking at this chart of growth, that since 2019, my year zero, team has grown from 5 designers to 13 designers, 2 researchers, 1 research manager, and 1 design manager. The current challenge that I am dealing with right now is that we have acquired 2 companies, one in East Coast US and one in UK. And also started building India Development Center. So there's a chance that if you are a single designer in India, your PM lead is in East Coast US, and your design manager is going to be in West Coast US. Then the meeting is going to be very difficult to have because of the opposite time zone issues. But once we reach critical mass in India, where a product team is entirely co-located with PMs, engineers, and designers, things are going to be much easier. And that's in the works right now. And as the company expands, different global offices like UK office could have their own design org because the base structure is reusable and you can multiply it. Thank you again for joining the session. And if you have any feedback, please connect me on LinkedIn. Thank you.